Amber!
Shiloh!
Amber's here at MUSEA looking at the Kinship for Creation show. Welcome to the museum.
Very excited. So many ginormous paintings of love and light all around. I got a preview.
I'm so glad having you here. And I think back to our painting days together. How long have we been painting together?
I don't think we should tell people.
We were 10.
Over a decade. It's been over a decade now.
That's amazing.
I know. I remember it was 2010 because at the time Sage, my youngest, was a baby, and I had another baby, and I was just I was in such a sad space, and I found art, and I found like something to get me out of bed, and it was really this place of painting, and I found you and your work, and there's something that like felt inside that was like, there's something life-giving. It felt like the work was life-giving, and I remember giving myself, it was Legend, which was the first online Legend class.
I love that you were in the first one ever with me and Mary.
I should have like a special badge or something.
You should have a special badge. It was our first online class ever. I mean, and you were in it. I love that.
It was great. It was great. And but I remember before I signed up for it, like I knew I wanted to do something for me, and I knew that this was something that would actually get me out of thinking about how unhappy I was with my kids and like diapers and all the things I was living in. And I remember it was a big deal for me to sign up though. Like I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like that money could go to my kids' diapers or their shoes, or like it was a really big deal for me to say, I'm just going to do this for me. And I remember taking Christmas money and birthday money and like somehow convincing myself that was okay for me to do that on for me, and it totally changed my life.
What do you think is the biggest, like sometimes I'm like, why is it such a big deal, like what happens with painting? Because it's a really big deal. Like there's like the pre-painting self and then the post-painting self, and you kind of never go back to the non-painting self, even if you don't paint all the time like we do, but there's still something like it just changes. What do you think about like painting and maybe Legend itself? What changed?
I think I had been living in thinking that I was such a small piece of myself, right? And it was like, painting gave me this open canvas. I hadn't painted like since I was in second grade, and I was very aware that I didn't quite know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm just gonna do something, you know? And so I was always stretching, right? I was always trying. I was like, okay, paint. Well, that's new. Okay, following this is how you make a face. Okay, I have no idea, right? It was like everything was new, and so it felt like this place of growth for me. There was that piece, and also like no limits, right? Like if I think of who I thought I was at that time, it was like I was very clear. I had either been, I was in retail management running a company, and then I was a mother, and like those were my identities. And painting just helped me look and be like, oh, there's so much more than that that's possible, available. And I can create the life any way I want. That was like the best part of Legend. It's like I didn't have to live this life that I thought that I was living. I could I could do something else. I could follow my calling, which, at the time was just to be happy. Honestly, if I could just be happy, and then I could be happy for my kids, like that was a win. Like that was, like that was a big deal. And then after that was like painting, it kept opening me up like bit by bit, right? It was just like, it showed me just the next level of my vision, the next thing. And it was, then I wanted to share with other moms. So I'm like, oh, you need to be happy too. And then it was, I'm like, I want you to experience what I'm feeling. And then it was circles, and then it was sharing with other people. And so, the paint's magic. It's like it's a magical...
Magic, the paintbrush is the magic wand. So you went from, and I remember your Diva Dawn, your first big painting. It was epic.
Yeah.
Right? And then not long after that, you sold a big painting to a yoga studio. I remember you sending me a photo of the check being paid for your art, which was way more than you invested in the trainings. And then from there, you wanted to take Color of Woman, and you teach painting to tens of thousands of women now.
I know, right? And it all started with me saying yes. Well, really to myself.
Yep.
But just being willing to try something different. It's like I want to do something different. And that was a big piece. But I remember each piece felt like a step, but it's like having the process, the painting, having the way to like express and move through what was coming up has allowed me to continue to move, has allowed me then to help support others and like, yeah, drop into my heart and not just be like in my head of like, this is my plan. It's like, there's so much other possibility when we connect into whatever we connect, the field, whatever we're connecting into, that can really align us with something that feels really juicy and purposeful and fun.
And so you unleashed yourself, and now your work is largely based around the idea of women unleashing themselves.
Yes, exactly. It's like being how can we just be ourselves, have fun, live our purpose, creating is such an important piece, and self-express, and then don't apologize for however that comes out. You know?
There you go. Because you just never know. Like, this is a background of a painting. You just never know what's going to happen. And you just follow the brush and see what happens. And for me, the biggest piece is like what you shared about expanding the view of what's possible. And until we have an experience for ourselves or with others, we don't necessarily know. The world isn't just running around telling you, hey, you have all these possibilities, and that you can actually create them for yourself. But it's not a concept. You actually have to do something. It's almost like the painting is that ritual of initiation, which gets you going.
It was definitely initiation for me. So initiation into my purpose, initiation to like honestly coming out. Like I was very shy when I took Legend. You wouldn't think so now because I'm like this. Because I'm like this. But really, I remember like, you know, being on the phone and being like my turn to talk and like hanging up before it got to me because I was like, I don't know what to say, you know, but like,
wow.
But I know, but that's where so I really remember that place so deeply, right? And then, yeah, I mean
now can't stop her.
Can't stop, don't stop. Yes, none of that, all of that.
Well, I love this. 11 or so years later, being back in studio because we continue to weave around each other's lives and communities. And I'm glad you could come today with your family to come see the show. And bless you, everybody.